Itinerary. Alright, so it's this way and then over there. It's kind of still empty. What I noticed too is they have this little broom closet right here, which I don't really notice it being open or anything like that. It's pretty interesting. They also have like a plaque right here, Captain Frederick Griswold. Died in 1992. His name was Griswold. Oh, he was a chaplain and a pilot. It's pretty cool. Pretty neat. All right, right off Inspiration, McKinney. Looks like a government official, government lawyer. So, talking a lot about immigration in the border of Mexico and the buoys, and both feel that they're kind of wrong, you know. I mean, immigration, you know, it's an important thing to stay on task, but it's not worth someone's life, you know. After all, Jesus Christ was an immigrant. But, you know, I mean, it is important. It would flood the economy, you know, if we just open the gates. But, like I said, it's not worth someone's life. So they'll have to remove the buoys. I would approach it by trying to build and strengthen Mexico's economy. So Mexico's life, you know, or you could say Mexico's quality of life is what I meant to say. So Mexico's quality of life is improved. So if their country is more livable and less crime and gang problems and things like that in Mexico, and that lowers, and we build their economy by increasing possibilities of better housing and things like that, and make it where people would want to live there, then they wouldn't have, you know, a reason to come to America. And also improve their work life too, which is something some third-party people have tried to do with NAFTA and things like that. NAFTA never really worked out, but I'm not saying that's the idea. But the idea is to build their economy so that they want to be there, as opposed to abandoning their problem that they're having. Because what a great mission field for America, you know, to improve their neighboring country. You know, wouldn't that create a lot of jobs? You know, foreign jobs going over to Mexico and helping people, rather than just accusing Mexico for being the major problem. You know, build better parks and recreation, better education, offer what America has to Mexico. So you make Mexico more like America. Now, them coming here, of course, all their major reason is to work. And they'll still do that. They'll find ways to do that because the opportunities are immense. So how do we increase the opportunities in Mexico? By going there and saying, well, maybe we can put some funding into their country, put an investment. Let's just put it this way. Let's say you had a really noisy neighbor and all you did all day long was just call the police on them all day long. It's a cute little dog right there. Do you really think it's going to decrease all the problems of that neighbor, and especially the noise? Well, it might a little bit for a while, but the nature of that neighbor is to be alive, just like everybody else, and people make noise. So you can't really silence them, like how Mexico sometimes is silenced by looking like they're the enemy when there's a lot of opportunities in Mexico. Not that I would really move there, but I mean, there is. And that things are opening up for a lot of people. But, politics are politics, and I don't really look at it as a political thing. It's like, the people in Mexico are real people, and that they're humane, and that they will do the same thing a lot of people will do, and then they're coming here because they find a way to make a lot of money and send it through Western Union back to Mexico. There's got to be a way where we expand their economy. And one thing that they are offering is something called DD.Go, which I think is a marvelous idea. And what it is it's a rideshare program, very similar to like Lyft and Uber and stuff. And it's coming out of Mexico. And they could bring that into our country and we could share the wealth. Even though it's coming from Mexico, it would strengthen the Mexican economy. And that flow of money would flow from Mexico into our country and then from our country back to Mexico, so that we do similar things. This can go in the entertainment field as well as the medical field, meaning we share our technology with Mexico. And that, my friend, would definitely help improve Mexico if we share our way of living with them, rather than say, no, stay out of our land. And if you went over to their neighbor's house and say, well, these are some of the ways that I'm quiet, you think it would work? Here's some of the things I do. So I don't play my guitar in the middle of the night anymore. Instead, I play around lunchtime. And my neighbors are always liking that because I play guitar. See what I'm saying? So I share my ideas by saying, well, I'll be quieter during lunchtime, or I'll be quieter during the middle of the night, so then you don't hear my guitar. And then you'll have to hear my guitar during lunchtime. That kind of trading idea. And not too bad right here. If you check out the everyday low prices of Walmart. Well, this moment in the vlog is brought to you by Jack Link's Beef and Cheese. If you're gonna eat beef and cheese, you wanna eat the link. Jack Link's. And also calorie count on these are actually pretty low. We're only dealing with about 140 calories. That includes the beef and the cheese. Pretty good snack. What I always do with my Jack Links, and this person behind me doesn't want me doing my show right now, is I just take it like that, and I just kind of rip it down like that. Just like that. There they go. Good thing they found their way. And then what I do is that's what it looks like right there. It's like a beef and cheese. I eat them at the same time. Pretty good. Jack Links. And they taste great. So this building right here, which is connected to the Galleria, the Westin Hotel, is used in Mike Judge's office space, the opening shot. There's really not much more to talk about when you're passing the Galleria area other than that. I believe the shot was either done from, I think, this highway. It's not exactly the tollway, but it probably might have made sense to use the tollway. But I want to say that this building way over here, this building's in it. So it has the round top right here. You can see the round top right there. That building's in it, but I want to say maybe these two buildings might be in it too, which leads me to believe that it was done on this particular highway. You can kind of see some of it right here. Maybe not. I don't know if you can or can't. Well, you will be able to. Hang on. There it is. You can kind of see the Westin there. So my theory is it was done on this highway, which is 635 West, and this Amtrust building might have been in it, which is very interesting because I worked for that company in Bedford that took over, which is actually like an Initech kind of company, only we were a warranty company that did phone calls. We were like telemarketers kind of thing, but it was still kind of like Initech. You know, and that's probably really prevalent in this area too. A lot of telemarketing kind of companies that might have a cubicle that would be set up. I'm trying to show you that building right there. It is in office space with Jennifer Aniston. Now Peter Gibbons plays the protagonist who lives this kind of drab life, working for an office, kind of a computer company or something like that. It's kind of, Initech is kind of a weird kind of general company, and that's kind of the opening shot right there, kind of. But it's an interesting movie. It's kind of a comedy love story, a high comedy love story. And there's a Xerox copier that gets kind of murdered in a field. They beat up a Xerox copy machine. Jennifer Aniston plays this kind of free-spirited waitress that settles down a little bit in a way with Peter Gibbons. But Peter Gibbons, what he wants is the most is he wants to get out of that life, you know. So he finds a way out through a glitch in the system. Well, it's not really a glitch. It's more like a software program that either he creates or someone that he knows creates, or something that takes like a fraction of a cent off this like transfer thing, and it goes into another account. And because the company makes so much money, it adds up very quickly to hundreds of thousands of dollars, but yet they're not able to trace where the money came from, but they're able to get the money. I think they make withdrawals from an ATM or something of that nature, and they end up with quite a bit of money, and they're able to escape their drab life of working for Initech because of, you know, basically crime. You know, it's like a, you know, it's basically about crime. But also what's funny is another character that is involved with Initech gets in like they're kind of like laying off. So several people were being laid off, and like it destroys his life so much, you know, because he's married and he's an older character, that he decides to kill himself by parking his car in a garage, at his own garage, and then leaving it, you know, turned on because he doesn't want to tell his wife that he lost his job. And he wakes up or something, and the car's still running. He accidentally puts it in reverse. It goes backing up, hits another car, and then he gets in a lawsuit where he wins and blames the company for, you know, destroying his life, and gets like millions of dollars. So one of the characters gets out of Initech legitimately, you know, because the company was, you know, neglecting the human rights of one of their employees. And then, like, of course, Peter Gibbons, Ron Livingston plays him, gets out of the company through crime, you know, through it's a form of embezzlement, you know, from the company. I mean, it's just, It can't be traced, though. It's impossible for them to trace it. So the crime isn't really there because they don't see it.
Oh, there's Jody Records right there.
They don't see the crime. So it's not really a crime, you know. But anyway, it's a cool little movie because it's kind of like the whole thing about being in a company and being kind of pocketed away. There's another character in it, too. He has an obsession with his red stapler. And kind of talks like, where's my stapler? You can't have my stapler. I want my stapler back. Give me my stapler. And it's kind of showing the the character really doesn't work for the company anymore. So he continues to kind of show up. And he has this obsession with his red stapler. The character's name's Milton. And it's kind of sad, you know, because the character... This is all based on a cartoon. The character continues to work for Anytech even though he doesn't, you know, but he doesn't want to go away. So they put him in the basement of the company, and he has to have his red stapler there. So it's like he's been exhausted by the company throughout his life that he becomes kind of almost kind of like not a vegetable, but he's like he doesn't really think anymore. He just has this thing about his red stapler, and he just stays near his desk and doesn't really do anything, and stuff just piles up on his desk, and he doesn't, you know. It's very funny. Mike Judge is a complete genius, you know, but he also invented King of the Hill, and King of the Hill is also very funny too. Mike Judge has done a lot, you know. He's done a lot of funny comedies and stuff like that. I guess it is kind of redundant that every time I pass by there, I talk about Mike Judge for quite a bit of time. This time I did about 7 minutes of talking about Mike Judge. And a segment of Mike Judge and talking about the Galleria and West End Market and the West End Place and all that stuff about, you know, Office Space and Jennifer Aniston, Ron Livingston, you know, Peter Gibbons, and all the fun stuff about Office Space is brought to you by Walmart, where you can get a size drink about this large right here for 84 cents. You really can. It's 84 cents for a large one at Walmart. That's where I got the gas for $3.37 per gallon. Or my stapler. Red stapler. Can I have my red stapler? Sure everyone but Jennifer Aniston probably thought Office Space was a failure, you know. I mean, they probably really did, you know. I'm pretty sure I could just see the way the film was made. But it turned out to be a cult masterpiece, you know. Definitely a cult film. A lot of people love it, you know. It's like one of their favorite films and stuff, but I'm 100% all the actors knew it was, you know, a complete flop. And it kind of was, until it finally got a lot of attention later on. But Aniston probably wouldn't have signed on if she didn't think it was going to succeed. So that was one of the reasons, probably. But anyway. Now the movie's, very, very famous and everybody knows about it. If it makes like hundreds of vlogs and stuff and people talk about it all the time, it's completely famous. Yeah, when you're doing this, you just can't wait. Just kind of, just can't help. Just go, wee, wee. It's just like a theme park, the whole entire airport. It really is. You drive around, you just get a car and just drive around DFW airport. It's tons of fun. But plan on getting lost because it's literally a maze. Don't even think about trying to get out of one of these parking garages. If you go the wrong direction, you just go in a circle for a long time and you're staying at the same level and you don't get out. It's a mystery on how I learned how to do any of this, really. It takes probably a few hundred tries to... I can't describe the parking garages and why. You just go in a circle and it's like you don't even know where the exit is. You have to look up at the top here to see the exit to turn, or you'll just be kind of stuck in this kind of limbo of time and space inside of a parking garage. It's very hard to describe, but it just kind of going around in a circle. And then sometimes you go to a different level and you're like, where's the exit? Take some time. And they're all the way from Mississippi on my SSI, SSI, PI, PI, or the I love. This way. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this Turkey stuff. All right, kind of do this for memory purposes. That way, and then that way, right over that way. Big time. So I'm thinking if you really, really hustled on these SmarteCartes, you could make $2 an hour. If you got enough of them, let's say 4 every hour. I'm sorry, 8 every hour would be $2. So you have to find 8 of them within an hour. So that'd be a whopping $2 an hour. A full day's worth of work, you would leave with $16. Not recommended. It wouldn't be the ideal career. Let me just put it that way. But it would have been an extra $16 for the day, but you have to probably spend 8 hours doing it. So, but there is a reward. You get to walk. As in walk. Which, is good for your health. But I wouldn't, try to treat it as a job, but it certainly is, I don't know, it's kind of fun. But I only go after them if I see them there. Gotta make sure these are clear here for it to work. And then sometimes they don't always work if you don't use those. Good to go. Well, here it is. This is tap to screen begin. And sleeping right now, but it's for Delta. Haven't seen the Delta ones. Oh, there it is. So carry on only, yeah. Insert. It's pretty cool. You just kind of scan your stuff there and head off on Delta, wherever you're headed. Doesn't look like a lot of people are there right now, but they got print bag tags too. So you can get your bag tag right there. And here's Clear Plus right here. So this avoids all the TSA lines. They go by fingerprint, so they are biometric, and they just let you through. And no, you don't take your shoes off or anything. It's a pretty cool little program. They got a QR scan if you want to find out about them. It's a pretty cool little thing.
We can't smooth out those rough edges next.
About 9 miles from Denton. There's a homie from Oakland, California, visiting family, way out in the middle of nowhere. You know, sometimes I try to, you know, fit the music to the passenger, you know, so I don't know, I try like different things. I try a little mixture of Eminem and some Will Smith. I figure Will Smith is kind of a neutral ground because, well, he's kind of general, you know, he's not like specific on well, he's not general, he's still personality, but he doesn't take sides on the whole, you know, although Eminem does. So Eminem is more kind of political, but yet again, Eminem is kind of playful, even though he does use strong language sometimes. It just depends on the passenger. You know, I probably would go with Post Malone. Would probably be the best, because Post Malone, he's not like, I don't think he's political. I think he's more kind of in the middle. Yeah, it's better to be that way, because if you're too far-sighted on one side, then that can make them mad, you know. So if it was like NWA or something like that, they'd be like, well, okay, you know. And then on the other side, you got the East Coast, West Coast battle. So Post Malone's kind of in the middle a little bit. He's got like a Texas roots. It's not exactly West, it's not exactly East, although he could play East or he could play West. Eminem a little bit like that, although Eminem is more of a Detroit cat. So I would say he probably sides more with the East side. And then I would say like Will Smith, maybe the same, but yet he doesn't really like push it, you know. He still could be like in maybe like a Disney film or something, you know. So it's still kind of clean cut. So you know what I'm saying. But if they request it, they're like, hey, you want to throw on some NWA? I would certainly do it, you know. I'm like, yeah, I seen Ice Cube live, you know, when he was doing Body Count, you know, back in the day on Lollapalooza. So I'm not really like biased on music. So whatever music they want to play is fine. But then you have to kind of guess, because music's going to hit the scene unless you play the news the entire time, which can be boring. Now, ideally, what you could do to be really good at this is get a little television or flat screen, maybe in the back, and go with a movie or a movie choice, meaning you could provide them movie choices if you have a selection of movies that are on digital. Now, that would be a heck of an experience kind of thing, you know. What movie would you like to watch? Now, you could probably get away with that financially with YouTube, because YouTube does a lot of free movies. So you could advertise YouTube and say, well, YouTube's playing this tonight, blah blah. You know how they have like a free movie on a plane, like on a flight. Now, another option too that can help things is you provide like water which I was going to today because Linda had a few extra waters, but they had been in her car for too long, and Linda said it's bad to to serve the water if it's been in the car like under the heat too long. So I decided not to go with that. But probably at the beginning of the day, depending on how many you think that you're going to do, you could get a little cooler, like keep it in the trunk, and put some water on ice, because if you do want to serve water, if you get like new water or like a bottled water like Avion or something like that, you could serve that on ice, or at least have it on ice, or find a way to have some type of cooler so you provide the water and it's cool, it's cool water rather than just warm water. But then warm water works too. Now another option you can do, and this is some other stuff that I was thinking about doing, is you could provide soda, but you'd have to cool that too. And then you have to realize if it busts in the car, then you'd have to do some cleanup there. Another option too is I was thinking about, since I buy so many bananas because it's good with electrolytes and bananas has a lot of potassium, is making my own banana nut bread and offering it for maybe could increase the tip or something like that. You can just offer that for free. And banana nut bread is actually really easy to make. It only takes 50 minutes in baking. All you need basically is just sugar, butter. You can do unsalted butter, just regular butter, but unsalted butter works better. You can add cinnamon in it if you want to do cinnamon. Of course, bananas, you want to mash the bananas up really well, and then even add some sugar to that. And make sure you grease the pan, though, if you make like a banana nut bread thing, like a banana nut bread, I guess you would call it a banana nut bread muffin. If you did a banana nut bread muffin. And that might be nice, because you could say, well, I got some banana nut bread, would you like some? Now here's the thing you got to realize, that if they're going to eat banana nut bread, then that's going to probably cause crumbs. So you could have some crumbs that could fall on the back seat as well, and then you'd have to go by and clean that up. So, but it's still nice though, because you could say, well, I have some banana nut bread, I made some the other day, and you could wrap it in like Saran wrap or something like that. Now, if you're really getting strategic and you're doing really well and you want to get some good snacks, I'd probably stay away from popcorn or chips, because those can get really all over the place. But a lot of times you do stop, and people do buy chips, and you do have to kind of scrape it up that way. So just realize that if you're going to offer snacks, you're also going to have to find a good car wash for a vacuum, so that you can vacuum up those snacks as well. You want to vacuum up so that you don't have crumbs and stuff for the next person that you may come across. All right, so just an idea there. It took about 7 minutes and 45 seconds. All right, there's my alma mater, UNT. There's the University of North Texas Performing Arts Center is also what it's called. I've been there, I performed there, it's Shakespeare there, played Duke Frederick there. And oh boy, yeah, south would be correct. I'm gonna be going this way. There's their green flag. They have a green Texas flag right there. Find it. So I am a college graduate. That's another reason why I did a show. Because I was a performing arts major. Really, I was a theater arts major, but there is performing arts in theater arts. So I could easily say I was a performing arts major, but I was actually officially a theater arts major. So we did study theater. So that was... And in doing that, in most colleges, you are going to run across film and media. You're going to run across the film department, which you want to hang out with those people as much as possible. One of my roommates was a radio, television, film major for a whole year. His name was Philip. He's also a short story writer, which we both wrote. I was writing plays, he was writing short stories. But he also wrote scripts, and he did all the stuff you're supposed to do in radio, television, film. Very tough one to land. Usually you would head off to California for that. But there is work in Texas, believe it or not. And there's a lot of working film actors in Texas. They're usually not part of the union, nor have they ever really been. SAG does come through here. They do bring SAG productions, so there is Screen Actors Guild. Whoa, that was a busted one right there. There is SAG productions, but it's not predominantly SAG in Texas. It's mostly non-union. So I was always told, don't worry about signing up for SAG if you're in Texas. It's not going to do you a whole lot of good. unless you're a movie star.
If you're a movie star, then you're going to be with SAG anyway.
So that's what I was told, you know. But if you're non-union, then, you know, you're fine in Texas. It's not going to make much of a difference. There's probably going to be a flood load of actors coming in from California because of the strike. The ones that are going to find major independent work. Because if you're in Texas, you're gonna find independent work in the film industry. And there are people I know that actually do survive doing it in Texas. Now, it's not as easy, it's not as popular as California, and it's not Hollywood. But you can find work. And what I suggest, if you are an actor or even a director or playwright or screenplay writer or whatever it may be, go to backstage.com and get a membership. They have different programs. It's cheap as $25 a month. It's really nothing. About a cup of coffee a day. Depending on if you drink coffee every day, it's probably less than that. But if you go to Starbucks, it's probably, you know, not exactly a cup of coffee a day, but because Starbucks, usually when you go in, it's $7, you know, so not at Starbucks, but at 7-Eleven, a 7-Eleven cup of coffee a day. And even a cup of coffee at 7-Eleven is at least $1. So you pay that plus, you know, the tax on top of it, it comes to about $30 a month. So about $1 a day. And you can join backstage.com. I've posted on there as a director as well as a playwright. And I've also posted on there as an actor looking for work too. Another movie that I suggest, I know I'm switching the subject really quick about suggesting movies, because I do suggest movies, is the movie Dinner with Andre, starring Wallace Shaw. It's a very, very interesting movie. I saw some of it last night. I may watch it tonight. I don't know for sure. I'm also watching a very, very exciting and well-made cable show known as The Last of Us, which is based on a video game. Brilliant. The first episode I was blown away, and that's usually the one that gets you hooked. The Last of Us looks like something I'm going to be a fan of. Now I was also a fan of Slow Horses, which I'm also a fan now of Mick Herron, who's also on Apple TV. But The Last of Us is actually brilliant, and you can find it on Apple TV as well as Hulu and things like that. It's going to be a little bit difficult to find on YouTube, so you may have to rent it. You can rent it through YouTube because you can buy almost any movie on YouTube, but you'd have to purchase it, pay to watch, or you can just actually buy the DVD, or you can sometimes rent it if you want to rent it. There's different series of it, and it's very, very good. The lead actor is great. I don't know his name yet, but I'm going to figure it out. Really good actor, very serious. They take it very serious. It's a post-apocalyptic movie. It's not exactly a zombie movie, but it's in that nature. It could easily fall into the zombie genre, but it's about a fungi kind of virus thing that takes over people and turns them into kind of like these monsters where they eat other people and stuff like that. It's really crazy. They're almost like vampires. Think of I Am Legend, very, very much kind of like that. It starts off very crazy and wild, and I'm loving it. Going back to Dinner with Andres, I'm maybe try to watch that in the next couple of days. Now, I did watch some of it, and it blew me away. I was like, this is a brilliant movie. And believe it or not, when I was at the Actors Studio in New York, Wallace Shaw was there. A lot of people saw him. I didn't see him, but he was there in the audience for one of the interviews. So if I would have known that was him, I would have walked over and basically started talking to him about Princess Bride, because that's what I've known him for, was Princess Bride. But he also did Dinner with Andre, which is actually, I found out, is a major movie classic. It's also a masterpiece, or people have put it in a masterpiece genre. It's in it's in Criterion Collection. Here, we'll get to you. One thing I wanted to throw out there about my Dinner with Andre was Wallace Shawn actually directed it. Or actually, let me go back and say this. He wrote part of it. So he actually wrote part of it. And I believe it's about the actual actor Andre. Or he's responding as himself. I think that's maybe true. But I don't know for sure if Wallace Shawn is. I'll have to look on the cast credits. And also I'm going to look at the director too. It's a masterpiece. So. Yeah, his name is Wallace Shawn. Sorry about that. Wallace Shawn. I always call him Wallace Shaw, but it's actually Wallace Shawn. Also, what I was talking about, My Dinner with Andre with Wallace Shawn. The director is Louis Mel or Louis Mele. Or it could be Louis Malle or Louis Mala. But it's spelled M-A-L-L-E,
So I think it's Louis Malle or Louis Malle or Louis Malle. I don't know. I don't know exactly how to say it, but it's Malle. And then the actor that's, you know, one of the lead actors too is Andre too. Is actually, it's what My Dinner with Andre is funny because, you know, the actor's name is Andre. It's pretty cool though. It's really. They start off talking about Jerzy Grotowski, which my acting teacher at UNT was a disciple of Jerzy Grotowski. It's actually true. She worked with him side by side. Jerzy Grotowski. She knew the guy. In Poland, she speaks Polish and everything, sings and everything. So it's interesting that movie, it starts off with them talking about Jerzy Grotowski, but they don't call him Grotowski. They call him like Jerzy. No, I think they say Grotowski when other people say Grotowski. So it's like different ways of pronouncing Grotowski. I think she called him Grotowski, but then they say Grotowski. Anyway, I thought it was kind of cool. But yeah, check out My Dinner with Andre. It's a Louis Malle production. He died a few years back. The director's been dead. But Wallace Shawn's still hanging on, and so is the guy Andre that plays in it. It's a pretty cool film. Also, one more last thing about My Dinner with Andre. Andre Gregory was the guy's name. He actually did The Young Pope, which was only a few years back. He's also done that too. Very, very good actors. It's very good acting. That's what I suggested. If you're an actor, you got to see My Dinner with Andre. Very, very good film. Also, just a side note, if you ever seen Waiting for Guffman, Christopher Guest makes kind of fun of that movie in it. If you ever watch Waiting for Guffman, he plays kind of like this metro director that's stuck out in the middle of, you know, the sticks. And he's doing this, directing this play called Red, White, and Blaine. He's in a place called Blaine. Anyway, he makes fun of My Dinner with Andre at the very ending after the credits, if you ever watch Waiting for Guffman, but it's just kind of a side note, just to let you know. Yeah, but check out My Dinner with Andre. It's a very good, it's like a masterpiece. It's in the Criterion Collection. So if you know anything about that, if not, then you can crawl out the cave. Well, if you're in film and media, but if you're not in film and media, then you're probably not in a cave. But if you're in a film media, then you're probably in a film and media cave, or you're something of that nature, because everybody's heard of My Dinner with Andre, unless you lived in a cave, unless you're not involved with radio, television, film. A lot of people haven't heard of My Dinner with Andre, but I have. It's very good. Check it out. There's Kitty. Still trying to run out the door. Okay. Whoops. Alright, so we got this thing right here, which is refill tablets. It's by a company called Softsoap. So you drop in an 8 fluid ounce warm water, and you drop the tablet. Do not replace pump. Wait for your tablet to fizz up, transform into foaming hand soap. When your tablet stops fizzing, replace your pump and wash your hands. Do not shake bottle. Huh, let's give it a try. Alright, so we're going to try this puppy out. We got the warm water going. It's pretty warm. Alright. Well, I already have soap in there. Should I try another one? Nah, just mix it. About 8 ounces or so.
take one of these and drop it in there. Got an idea.
It's an angel, but
Put
too
it in
small.
here.
Oh, then you can transfer in there.
Take this. Well, usually where I put it, yeah, I know. I'm gonna go through that. And we're gonna go. There we go. It says don't shake bottle, right?
I can't remember what it said.
I think it says don't shake bottle.
Don't shake.
But it should fizz.
But watch out for kitty.
Can you stir it, or how do you know if it's 8 ounces? I guess I didn't really look.
Yeah,
It looks like it's just fizzing. Oh wow, it is fizzing.
Oh gosh, I'm in chemistry. It's 1994. I'm back in chemistry class.
It's interesting. Well, anyway.
Watch out behind you.
Oh, it is. It's fizzy. That fizzes quite a bit.
Come on, kitty.
Supposedly it's supposed to foam up and stuff, so I guess you kind of let it sit there and fizz for a while. Anyway, that's how it works. What we'll do is we'll wait until it's done, and then when it's done, then we'll give it a try.